This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. Rudy Giuliani is in trouble again. First day of his trial, and he's already stepped in the bucket with the judge once again, the same judge that sanctioned him half a dozen times for misconduct in the pre-trial. This judge is now very upset with him and wants answers about why Rudy Giuliani on the courthouse steps told reporters that everything he said about Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss committing voting fraud was true when the judge has already ruled that it is not true. And that's also inconsistent with Rudy Giuliani's own written stipulation under oath that he knows that he committed defamatory statements against them, and argued in his filings that he shouldn't even have a trial because he's already admitted and he's willing to settle. The new Rudy Giuliani, in the clip I'm about to show you, went out on the courthouse steps and defamed them once again.
Whatever happened to them, it's unfortunate if other people overreacted, but everything I said about them is true.
Do you regret what you did to Ruby?
Of course
Freeman?
I don't regret it. I told the truth. They were engaged in changing votes.
There's no proof of that.
Oh, you're damn right there is. Stay tuned.
We knew that Judge Beryl Howell was going to take him to task, and she has in the courtroom with his new lawyer, Joe Sibley. She said to Joe Sibley that she was irate and very, very upset about his testimony, which was as follows, as you can hear from the following clip. When I testify, the whole story will be definitively clear that what I said was true, that they committed voter fraud, and that whatever happened to them, which is unfortunate about other people overreacting, everything I said about them is true. That is a lie. That is a lie that's already been determined by the record. None of that is true. And Rudy Giuliani, for those that are wondering, does he have the right to take an inconsistent position on the courthouse steps in front of the reporters that he's not taking or can't take inside of a courtroom? And the answer to that is no. United States District Judge Beryl Howell warned Giuliani's lawyer today, this morning at the start of the second day of the trial, that the remarks his clients made to reporters about Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss when leaving the courthouse yesterday amounted to defamatory statements about them yet again, in a case about how big of a check he's going to write for defamation. They also, as I did in a prior hot take, the lawyers in the opening statement for Rudy Giuliani risked a mistrial because they argued exactly what the judge said they could not argue, to tell the jury that Rudy Giuliani was bankrupt or had financial difficulties, and therefore they should go easy on him in how big of a damage check that they're going to write for Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. They crossed that line. Now, I think on the plaintiff's side, they like the jury that was selected, and they don't want a mistrial. And so I think they're going to let that pass with a record made. But now Rudy Giuliani, to add insult to injury or injury to further injury, goes out on the courthouse steps and says everything he said was true and not a lie, and all of that. And the judge called out Joe Sibley, the lawyer for Rudy Giuliani, and said, in your opening, you called Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss in order to get some sympathy from the jury, for them to go easier on your client, in order to show mercy on your client. You said the plaintiffs were good people, right? That they were good people that bad things have happened to, and that bad things should not have happened to. You just don't take responsibility for those bad things being caused by your client. But the judge said, how can you reconcile calling them good people in the courtroom and then having your client go out on the courthouse steps and say the opposite? And to which Joe Sibley, very similar to what Joe Tacopina, the lawyer for Donald Trump in the E. Jean Carroll case in the summer, about his rape and defamation of E. Jean Carroll, he said almost identically, eerily similar statement back to the judge. He says, I can't control everything he does, Your Honor. That's almost exactly what Joe Tacopina said to Judge Kaplan in the federal case when Trump said he wanted to testify, but he couldn't testify, and he went to Scotland instead of testifying. And Joe Tacopina says, you know my client, Your Honor. I can't control him. Same thing here. Joe Sibley throwing Rudy Giuliani under the bus in response to the judge because he wants to practice law, and he wants to practice law in front of this judge again in the future. And this is not his last client or his first client. And so at the appropriate moment, he did what any lawyer would do. He threw his client under the bus in that scenario to preserve his own quickly eroding credibility with this judge. So there you go with Joe Sibley. Copilot is a personalized fitness solution. Every individual is unique, so your fitness journey should be too. Copilot's app links you with an affordable, real-life fitness coach who customizes workouts tailored to your individual needs and goals. No fitness fads here. Work out anywhere, anytime, and make fitness a seamless part of your lifestyle. With Copilot, you'll get completely personalized workouts with step-by-step guidance. Your coach continuously updates and adapts every workout to your goals, schedule, and injuries. The My Copilot app offers a connection to a real-life expert coach, and the workout plans tailored by your coach are meant to be enjoyable and effective with regular progress check-ins and the support and guidance you need for your fitness journey. The workout programs are designed around your specific lifestyle and the ability to work out at your convenience anywhere you want. My Copilot makes it easy to start and stay committed to your fitness goals. My coach, total rock star. He keeps me motivated and committed to the program he's designed for me. The thing is, Copilot coaches are here to help you, and they truly want to see you succeed at every step of the way. The flexibility of Copilot with all of our busy schedules makes this the perfect way to stay committed. The fact that the workouts are planned and designed by my coach allows me to take even more off my plate and focus on reaching my peak performance. I'd love for you to follow my lead to get fit and feel fabulous. Give Copilot a try to find out why it was listed by Forbes as the top-rated personal trainer app of 2023. Head to go.mycopilot.com/legalaf to get a 14-day free trial and 20% off your first month of personalized fitness with your own personal trainer, if you sign up before February 1st, 2024. That's go.mycopilot.com/legalaf to get a free 14-day trial and 20% off your first month. Sign up for the new year and let Copilot help you reach your fitness goals. And so Joe Sibley has an out-of-control client that he's admitted he can't control. The judge is going to do it for him. The judge wearing the black robe is going to do it for him, because I think there's already been an attempt to mistry this case by opening the door to something the judge said they could not, which is to argue Rudy Giuliani's finances to the jury. They're not allowed to do that, and yet they did. And here, I think they're just looking again for a mistrial to pressure the court system, to pressure the judge into making a mistake, to giving them some sort of reversible error. Say, oh, the judge is against me. The judge has ruled against me 6 times for sanctions. Right, because Rudy Giuliani refuses to play by any rules and refuses to participate in good faith in the legal system as required by the federal rules. He's in federal court, and therefore he's gotten sanctioned time and time again for failing to comply with his discovery obligations, to turn over documents, to sit for deposition, to make required filings in the case. And so hundreds of thousands of dollars have been awarded already against him by the judge for in attorney's fees paid to Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, but she then did the ultimate. She gave him the civil equivalent of the death penalty by finding, as a matter of law and as a sanction for his bad conduct, that he can't argue liability, that he is liable to them for punitive damages, consequential damages, and reputational harm, and the repair of all that, you know, for how terribly doxxed they were. And now the jury is going to, with proper instruction, including based on rulings this judge made a month or 2 ago, the judge is going to be instructing the jury that they are to assume that Rudy Giuliani was hiding his money and refusing to produce documents about his finances in order for them to be misled to lower the amount of the damage award. When the jury hears that, is there any doubt in anybody's mind, the jury already being told the judge ruled against Rudy Giuliani, that they are to assume that the statements were defamatory, that they are to assume that there was actual damage to Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, that they are to assume that Rudy Giuliani can pay the freight for any judgment, that should not be their concern. That'll be a curative instruction to fix the problem from the opening statement. I'm sure they're negotiating over the language of giving the jury an instruction so they understand how much money he has or doesn't have, whether he's going to go bankrupt or not, or what Joe Sibley called the death penalty civilly should be not part of their calculus in writing that check, somewhere between $15 and $50 million as requested by those lawyers. These are the instructions that are going to be given to this jury, to assume that Rudy Giuliani is hiding information from you in order to lower the amount of your damage award. Now go in the back and deliberate and return a verdict. That's what's going to happen at the end of the week. And all of this, this ridiculous tambourine shaking on the courthouse steps following the lead of Donald Trump, who did the same thing in real time in the civil fraud case in New York and got gagged twice as a result of it and just pissed off the judge and the court system all the way up to the appellate courts, Rudy Giuliani following in those footsteps. Let me leave the hot take on this. Judge Beryl Howell doesn't play. No federal judge plays. I mean, you want to try to push around a New York State Supreme Court justice that's handling a trial in New York. That's one thing. You want to try to push around a federal judge, grab your toothbrush. You're going to end up in the federal detention center if you continue to violate the decorum and the sanctity of that proceeding. She's had enough with Rudy Giuliani, as we know from her prior sanctions against him. And she knows the Jan 6th and Rudy Giuliani involvement better than anyone, not better than most, better than anyone sitting on the DC bench. She had been for most of the Jan 6th and the Department of Justice's work to bring these people to justice and bring the over 1,000 prosecutions. She was the chief judge of the DC Circuit Court. She was responsible for the administration of all of the trials among all of the DC Circuit Court judges, and she presided over all of the secret grand jury proceedings that led to the search warrant, the subpoena against Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago, all of the stripping of all of the attorney-client privilege of all of Donald Trump's lawyers, all made their way through Beryl Howell. She knows Rudy Giuliani's role better than anybody, and she's had it with him. And if he thinks she's going to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's on a very tight leash in that courtroom, one that he continues to choke on of his own making. We'll continue to follow the trial that should be something we don't have to follow every day, but we do because of the acting out and misbehavior continuing by Rudy Giuliani as his lawyer tries to save his own hide by throwing his client under the bus. So you like this kind of hot take and this kind of update, then you're going to love what we do every week on Legal AF, the leading podcast at the intersection of law, politics, and justice, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on the MeidasTouch Network. Give me a thumbs up here, leave a review, a comment. It helps with the ratings and keeps me on the air. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.